Big ideas start with a spark. At Tassi's, we use that spark to ignite the fire in ourselves and our kids. So with the trust we build and the knowledge we share, we can grow together and stand tall, creating opportunities to advance in business while setting an example for the next generation. Whether you are starting fresh in Portugal or expanding globally, we're here to support each other. This is more than a network. We are a community that sets the examples for the leaders of tomorrow.
So I think we don't need to have any introductions, headmaster of TASIS over here. So before we start with the questions, can you give just a brief summary of your panel?
Thank you, Miguel. So I had a very interesting panel. My panel, the topic was the future of education. Of course, there was a particular focus on AI, so we had panelists who have experience in education, experience in AI, but we also had people who are serial entrepreneurs, and we had a student on our panel, which made it unique. I know your panel was all students, but it was unique for us to have a student to talk about their experience in schools. Abby Michaels has been in 6 schools in multiple countries. It was great to hear from her about her own evolution as a student and what she's expecting in the future as a student. So it was a fantastic panel. I joked that it was the most interesting panel because it appealed to such a wide audience. Everybody is interested, I think, in the audience in schools because they work in schools, they have children in schools, they have grandchildren in schools, they themselves are students in schools. And the world of education, as we know, influences the world of work in the future. So it was great for us and appropriate for us to go first, I think, to introduce the concept of education, and now they're going to introduce how that will tie into health and work and other things.
But, let's address the elephant in the room, AI. You think AI will be a tool to help students or, will be the destruction of the critical thinking?
Interesting question. I'm old enough, you won't believe this, but I'm old enough to remember when we introduced the handheld calculator. I remember my parents bought one for me. It was €400, 400 Canadian dollars at that time. And that was in somewhere in the 1970s. It does now what your phone can do in an app in 3 seconds, right? But we called it a scientific calculator. We thought it would ruin mathematics. I'm a mathematics teacher. It did not. In fact, calculators have become more ubiquitous in mathematics. Then, fast forward about 30 years, a few years ago, something was introduced by Khan Academy, where a person, and then led by technology, could teach you about every subject in high school, and even in college. And we thought, oh, that's going to ruin teaching because, of course, who wants to go to class when they can just watch a video and learn the same thing? But it hasn't ruined the essence of schools. It has helped young people to be able to learn because they can go back in the evening, say, that calculus lesson or that geography lesson, I didn't quite understand it. I can watch it now as slowly as I want to and as many times as I want to. Again, it hasn't ruined education or schools. However, AI is slightly different in that those other technologies, they teach. AI thinks, or we believe it thinks. There's some debate. A recent study by Stanford and Yale suggests that AI does not think, it actually aggregates. And aggregating is different than thinking. However, if used properly, it can be a really effective tool. My worry as an educator and as a parent is that we will introduce it to people too young to understand how to use the tool effectively. I asked the question in our panel, what is the purpose of school? For me, the purpose of school is to help young people to think and to develop their thinking skills. And if AI does that for you, you will never develop it. If there was a machine that could exercise for you, you probably wouldn't exercise. The problem is there is no machine that can make you fitter. There is no tool that can make you smarter if you use it to exempt yourself from thinking. So that's all of our fear as educators. We want AI to flourish. We want to use it to help kids and adults to learn, but we don't want to replace the thinking process because that's what innately makes us human.
And, just as a parting question, what advice would you give to students to optimally use AI, to don't hurt your critical thinking and use it as a tool, as the calculator that you had in the 70s?
Uh, there are a multitude of ways. I heard a fantastic one in our session. Actually, it was in your session. The student said she uses AI and then sees to write, but then her task is to see if she can write better than AI. So it's not to take what AI generates and say, oh, I love that, I'm going to keep it. It's, okay, AI put some stuff together, I'm smarter, what can I do to make this an even better piece of writing? If we lose the skills of writing and arithmetic, which are thinking skills, I'm not sure how we replace those in the next generation. We just ask a machine to do everything for us? I don't think that's the correct answer. So using AI as a support and a crutch when you need it, like a tutor, like Khan Academy, but not using it to replace the active thinking. As soon as you say to yourself, I'm making this much, much easier for my brain, you have to ask why you would want to do that.
Look, thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time
Thank
and for
you.
advice. See you next time. Bye-bye.